without a preacher. How can he preach except God send him? God doesn't pick up the phone when religion calls. God doesn't pick up the phone when a seminarian gets out of seminary, takes a church that y'all vote him in, and then expect God to respond to what he says. He can't even see or hear, lest known enter into rulership. The only way you enter into rulership, God has to call you, and it's through much tribulation. Can you see this morning? So we got some underlords. Touch your neighbor and tell them you're dealing with an underlord. Oh, by yonder to the book. Yeah, that's some propaganda going on why you can't get your blessing. That's a lie the devil using why your husband hadn't showed up yet. Why your wife hadn't showed up yet. That's some propaganda why you keep going back into destructive relationship. You keep attracting the same old. Can I help you women out? When a man shows up in your life, he's showing up to recognize one of three things in your life. Number one, your worth. Number two, your work. And number three, what's unhealed in your life. He's showing up to recognize one of three things. Your worth, your work. Whether you just been working on you, just an attractive rapper, you got all your tail out, you're showing everything. He's showing up to recognize your work. If it's all outer, nothing inside, no content, no character, he's recognizing your work. Then there's a third man. Are you following me? He recognizes. Are you hearing me? The first man recognizes your worth. Second man recognizes your work. If it's all on the outside, that's all he's attracted to. The third man shows up and he recognizes what's unhealed. He can spot your insecurity. He can spot when you just a booty call. You don't even know you won, but he knows it. He can spot when you just needy. You got some underlords at work. You thought you was in charge, but you're not in charge until you have entered the kingdom. So if you know you haven't entered the kingdom, my sisters, you need to hang on to a man or woman who has entered. God will send you a leader, send you a mother, send you a supernatural empowered woman of God, man of God, who has entered, who can see some stuff that you can't see yet because you haven't entered. And so they don't all look like they've entered. With canali suits on and no. Eloquent speech through much tribulation. See, children, you can't put your mouth on mama when she's suffered. When she's gone through, because it's through tribulation she enters into a realm that you haven't entered in yet. Y'all better hear me today. So if she say I got a hunch, if she say I got a feeling, slow down. Wait on mama, y'all. You might be messing with somebody who has entered. And see, you don't need any and everybody praying for you. You need somebody who has entered to pray for you. Because when you pray, you do warfare. Y'all ain't gonna talk back to me. God, like when we pray, to speak to the giant. In our prayer time, we speak to situations. And because we have earned the right to be there, they got to back up. Y'all ain't going to talk back to me. The devil already defeated, but until you can get there and see him, he ain't coming out with his hands up. But you got to tell the devil, I hear you and I see you. And you're coming out of there. That's why the old folk, when they cast out the devil, they say, Satan, come out of there. They'll speak right home. My daddy will speak right home. Come out of here. Loose here. What you seeing, Daddy? He's seeing something over his child. He's seeing something going on in the church. But he's a man with a third grade education who suffered for a while. Oh, he suffered righteousness. When I was a little boy, I watched my daddy be called boy by the men we had to cut grass with. I had a problem with racists. But I watched him take it, yet hold his head up high and raise the family. Oh my God. I watched him treat those who would treat him any kind of way. He'd treat them with love. But the same folks who abused my dad, and I know y'all heard the testimony, God had them leave old Willie in the wheel. He got all kind of rental houses now. I reckon to show he can't count all the cars they're giving him on one hand, that he blessed the saints, given to his children. Are you hearing? But see, once you enter into rule, my daddy would be cutting a rental house that belongs to somebody, and he'll say stuff like, this will be a good house to own. They ain't doing nothing with it. I'd like to have this one, Lord. 2 or 3 years later, the phone rang. Willie, I got a house over there on West Steers Lane. They ain't doing nothing with it. You want it? And because my daddy know he has entered into ruleship, he ain't afraid to tell him the price he really want to pay for it. Y'all ain't gonna talk back to me. Because when you've entered into ruleship, you ready for it? Look at your neighbor and tell him, it's yours for the asking. Y'all sit down. Y'all, you get that later.